Hi everybody, welcome to week 2 of Social Media Tips. Today we're going to talk about the background of what you need to know before you start getting ready to use social media. Before we begin, I wanted to let everyone know that Lanco Federal Credit Union is a 2019 Diamond sponsor of Main Street Mount Joy, and they are also our video sponsor, so please check them out. Lanco FCU is a not-for-profit financial institution owned by their members, and with over 10,000 members, you are likely to have friends, family, coworkers, and neighbors who are already member owners. Instead of paying shareholders, they return excess earnings to their members through competitive rates on deposits and loans, rewards programs, lower fees, and so much more. So check them out at www.lancofcu.com. This week we're going to answer 3 questions about social media. First one is, which accounts should you have? The next question is, who should create those accounts and who should manage those accounts? The last question will be, how do you actually use those accounts? This will get you ready for next week when we start talking about individual accounts, such as Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, and LinkedIn. When you talk about social media, there's a lot of different accounts that you can have. What we're going to do is I'm going to boil it down to the really important social media accounts that you should have. The first one is Facebook. Facebook is the most commonly used social media, and when people talk about social media, they really start thinking about Facebook. So it's the most widely used, and it's kind of the standard, and for businesses, it's the most flexible social media program that's out there. The second option would be Instagram. So if your business really has a lot of photos and videos and doesn't really have that much text to send out, Instagram is a great social media platform for you. Works very similar business format compared to personal format. You post your pictures, post your videos, people like them, and it's a real easy way of getting your stuff out to your customers. LinkedIn is a social media account you should really consider having for your company. If you want to do business-to-business contacts, LinkedIn is much better than Facebook or Instagram. Now, LinkedIn is not a very interactive social media program, so it's not like you have to be on there every single day. Most people use LinkedIn to track where people are working from one position to another and one company to another, and then to send direct messages to them. So if you know someone that used to work at company A, they left company A, you aren't sure where they went, you can go to LinkedIn, put in their name, search for them, find out they now work in company B, and if you don't have their email at company B, you can send a direct message through LinkedIn, provided you have a connection with them, and then they could see it, they could respond to you, and you can start your contacts that way. And then this kind of weird social media thing out there called Pinterest. Pinterest really isn't known for business social media, but if your industry is in home decor, crafting, gifts, anything with food and drink, clothing, Pinterest would be a good option to have for you, where you can post things that you do that other people can pin to their boards and find out that they can come to your business to get what they're looking for. While we're on the topic of social media accounts, there's a couple other accounts that you may want to consider having for your business for online. The first one is Google. Your business should have a Google account. Whether you have a website or not, Google accounts are very vital for your business. So they're used for web-based marketing. If you wanted to do an advertisement on Google, if you wanted to get your business on a Google map, if you wanted to respond to Google reviews, or if you do have a website and you want to increase your SEO ranking, Google accounts can help with that using some of their back-end tools like Webmaster Tools and things like that. YouTube. If you have a Google account, you actually do have a YouTube account because Google owns YouTube. What you want to do though is set up your YouTube channel to make sure that you reserve it and you have it. Whether you decide to post videos at some point or not, it's always good to have the account just to make sure that you have one. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about Yelp. Yelp is one of these things that it's kind of a necessary evil to have. Yelp, if you're not familiar with it, is a review website where people can anonymously go on and write reviews for companies that do or do not have Yelp accounts. So what you want to do is make sure you get a Yelp account, put it in your business name, and then make sure that you can then respond to the reviews that people leave you on Yelp. Yelp is not the easiest company to work with. In fact, in my web design business, Yelp is one of those companies that is the worst company to work with besides Dex Media. Dex Media is a really bad company as well. But Yelp is a really hard company to get reviews changed. Yelp likes to think that all the reviews are honest and they will keep it up there. There are ways to get rid of Yelp reviews, but it is not an easy process. I've been able to get rid of some Yelp reviews. I've been able to communicate with Yelp and let them know the business's side of the review. But you want to make sure that you get a Yelp account just to prevent someone else from pretending who you are and giving yourself a negative online reputation. TripAdvisor is another one of these social media accounts that is somewhat of a necessary evil. Normally known for reviews for restaurants and reviews for bed and breakfast, hotels, motels, lodging in general. TripAdvisor is also used for some other things as well. People who do conferences, wedding receptions, TripAdvisor will allow people to go ahead and review your business. It's a good idea to go ahead go to TripAdvisor.com, get an account, and then claim your TripAdvisor online account and make sure that you can respond to any reviews that are on TripAdvisor. Let's talk a little bit about who should create your online accounts and who should manage those accounts as well. In all cases, these account setups are not difficult to do. It takes a few minutes to go in and set up an account. So ideally, you, as the business owner, or someone in your business that you trust, should set up the accounts for you. Now, why do I say this with a caveat, as in someone that you can trust? The thing is, I've dealt with a lot of these accounts and a lot of businesses that had someone set an account up for them, but then the business owner did not know anything about the account, did not have any usernames, no passwords, didn't know how to access the account. So when the employee left, that business owner had the accounts, but we didn't have access to the accounts, and it was very difficult in some cases to get access from the ex-employee. That's why I say someone that you can trust. Someone in your business that you know will give you the information. They're not going to try and hold you hostage or anything like that, because it is your online presence. It's your online reputation. So it is somewhat important. Another option you can do is use your e-marketing consultant, whether that's a web designer, a marketing firm that's doing your marketing online, or another third-party consultant. Maybe you have an IT firm that comes in and does some IT work for you. You can ask them to go ahead and set these accounts up for you as well. Anyone in that kind of consulting capacity should know how to take care of all those accounts. One thing I will recommend is try and avoid companies like Comcast, Dex Media, Yellow Pages, any company like that to set up your account. Not saying they don't know how to set up the accounts, but when I'm dealing with customers, those types of companies like Comcast, Dex Media, and Yellow Pages have someone in their office that sets up the account for them, and they always promise to give the codes to the company. Sometimes they don't. It's part of the contract. They will manage it for you, and managing it means they're going to control it. They're not going to give it to you. A couple of times when businesses are leaving a Dex Media or Yellow Pages specifically, they have to fight to get those codes back from them because Dex Media or Yellow Pages makes it part of the contract where they're going to manage it for you, and they actually own your accounts. So it's sometimes very difficult to get access to the accounts that they set up for you. Last, don't let friends set up your accounts. If the person doesn't know what they're doing, they can make a mistake, and it might be hard to fix that mistake later on. And you also have to realize that whoever sets these accounts up for you might have access to those accounts. So you want to make sure that you really trust the people setting these accounts up for you. Once you have your account set up, here's some more tips for your account. The first one is always get your account codes. Now, account codes can mean different things for different accounts. So you want to look for something like a username, a password. There may be secret questions and answers. So if you forget your username or password, you can answer a question and they could go ahead and give it to you. Some accounts may have a PIN number or PIN codes. So PIN codes and PIN numbers are used predominantly to reset your password, or if you wanted to get service or support of some kind, they will ask you for a code to verify who you are. So make sure you have it. If you do not set up your codes, make sure once you get the account codes that you test them. Make sure they work. Get into your account. Make sure the account is in your company's name, not the person's name who set up the account for you, not the consultant's name. Make sure that the email that's on that account is your email. It is not the consultant's email. And also make sure that if there's a phone number or an address or anything else, that it is in your company's name and not the name of the person who set up your account. You'll be very surprised what's out there in the web design industry. There's a lot of web designers that set up accounts and put it in their name instead of the customer's name. Makes it incredibly difficult sometimes to get it back into the company's name. So please make sure that when you set these accounts up that they are in your name. The next thing is to be careful who has access to these accounts. These accounts will control your online reputation. So whoever has access to these accounts really controls your online reputation. In an account like Facebook, you can set up multiple administrators. So you do want to have more than one person administer that account. What I usually do is I ask my customers if I can be an administrator on their Facebook account. That way, if the company has something that happens and one person has to leave the company, we can go in there, delete who the administrator is, and set someone else up as an administrator. And keep in mind, along that line, your company should always be an administrator, if not the main administrator on the account. Do not let someone else go in there and tell you that your company should not have administrative rights. You should always have administrator rights to your online accounts and your social media accounts. So now you have your social media account set up. You have access through your passwords and your codes. You've tested them. So here are some tips before you actually start using your social media. I have a golden rule about social media. My golden rule is if you start using the account, keep using the account. The other side of that is if you know that you don't have time to do social media, set the account up, but just don't start using it until you have time to use it. A lot of people say, but I'm too busy. I can't do social media. I don't have hours a day to go on there and just communicate with your friends. The actual time use in social media could be only a couple of minutes a day. Facebook, as an example, will let you pre-schedule your posts. When I do social media for large companies, I'll take an hour out of a week and I'll schedule 3 months worth of posting for them. And we'll just schedule it. So we'll do everything in an hour. We'll schedule this one goes out this day, this one goes out this day, and we'll come up with a schedule. And that's all I have to do for them, is just 1 hour a week. That will cover 3 months of their social media use. The more active you want to be on social media, just make sure you have time for it. Another side to this is don't be overzealous on how often you want to use social media. If you have a lot of time right now, you could do it a lot, but if you don't have time in the summer when you get really busy, then don't post like a maniac now, knowing that you won't have time over the summer to do it. Pace yourself. 1 post a week, 1 post a day, 2 posts a month. Whatever schedule works for you. Just stay on that schedule, be kind of regular with it, and don't get crazy with it. You'll drive yourself crazy trying to keep up with it if you start really crazy. Post on a regular basis. Don't overpost. And that's really going to be determined on how well your customers take on your social media. If you're getting a lot of responses on social media, that means your customers are really into it. They want to hear more from you. Then keep posting. If you post a lot of things and you don't hear a lot of things about a lot of comments from your customers, they're not really grabbing onto it yet. Slow down, give them a chance to catch up, and take it slow. Regular posting builds a steady audience looking for information. Overposting turns people away because it's too much. They're just not going to know what to follow, and they're going to stop following because it's too much. Always try and keep things positive. Never air dirty laundry within the company. Don't talk bad about other people. Don't talk bad about other businesses. Don't talk bad about your customers. Always keep it positive. That ends it for this week. What are we going to talk about next week? So next week we're going to dive really deep into some of these social medias. Next week we're going to start talking about Facebook. I'm going to give you some Facebook tips and tricks. I'll tell you the best way to use Facebook, and then things that you want to avoid on Facebook. Not only just in your business, but I'll probably put some things in there about what you should avoid on personal Facebook pages as well. Glad you tuned in, and I will see you guys next week.